Turn this. See, now y'all heard that. So you know you're being recorded. All right. Well, we'll get started, and a couple others may join us sometime soon. But good evening, welcome. Thanks for joining us. For those of you who have not met, I'm Brian. I'm your host on this cruise. Happy to see all of you and meet some of you. My husband Tim is here too, waving.
Hey,
He's going to be with us, and we also have Kelly with us. Kelly was with Swan Hellenic. She's my rep, so she's the one I'm in main contact with in terms of planning this and organizing it and all that kind of good stuff. And she mentioned a minute ago, it seems like just yesterday we had our conference call. Some of you may have been on that 2 years ago when we first decided to do this cruise. Kelly was there telling us about the different things she experienced when she was in Antarctica. And I think that video, Kelly, is responsible for about half of these people deciding to go with us. Several people said, "Wow, I watched that video and now I want to go." So thanks for that. And she has agreed to work in the evening tonight to help us yet again. I asked her if she could tell us a little bit more about details about, the experience that we're going to have, how to get ready for it. And so I sent her a bunch of questions. Let's see. I asked her, about the health things in terms of that health thing that they made us do. Some of us have already been approved, some of us haven't. So I'm going to ask her to talk a little bit about that. I asked her to talk a little bit about what to pack for the trip. Not stuff like underwear and socks, the obvious stuff, but just we're going to Antarctica. So what uniquely do we need there and what might we think we need, but we don't really need to pack, kind of stuff. And then I asked her to talk a little bit about the logistics, how to get from the airport when we land in Buenos Aires to the hotel. And when we get to the hotel, how are we going to get to the airport to fly down to Ushuaia and all that kind of stuff. And then lastly, to talk a little bit about what we expect on board. So I'm going to turn it over to her in a minute, but that's kind of where I asked her to go. But Kelly, I'm guessing you may also have other information that I didn't even think of that you might want to share with us. And you all, if you have questions, we'll have time to ask those as well. All right. So before I
awesome.
before I turn the time over to Kelly, is there anything you want to ask me specifically? No? All right. I just as I said that though, I had a thought, and that is those of you who are joining us after the cruise in Buenos Aires, I'll be sending information about that in another week or so. The vendor and I are just today we were talking about finalizing the itinerary, so I'll have that ready in the next couple of days and send it out to you. So either the end of this week or more likely early next week. But it's easy enough. Once we get back to Buenos Aires, the transfer will pick us up and take us to our hotel and start the tour. So easy peasy on that end, but the front end is a little bit more complicated. All right, Kelly, it's all yours. Please tell us.
Okay, I just have like a very, oh, sharing is not turned on. Let's see, send request. I'm sending you a request.
Hit allow.
Okay. I just have like a very simple slide here. So it might be easier for people to see some of these tips in writing if you want to, copy them down or whatnot. I'll start with the most important stuff, the packing list, because that's you want to have everything you need to be prepared on a trip like this. And this is probably where you need to do some homework and some shopping, maybe take a trip to REI. Um,
Christmas gift ideas.
yes. I mean, you also should receive a packing list in the travel guide that you receive for the trip, but these are some of my personal tips that I learned from my expedition as
I'm
well.
going to interrupt you here, Kelly. When you
Mhm.
say a packing list that we'll receive, when roughly should we expect to see that?
Probably with your trip documents
And when will that happen?
after you've completed all the health forms, uh, then those get sent out. So
Okay,
probably
because
within 30 days of departure.
okay, so any day now, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So the number one thing I was really happy that I had is if you love to take pictures, which you're going to want to be taking a ton of pictures on this trip, was a waterproof phone case with a neck strap so that my phone did not fall off the Zodiac into the ocean. I felt like that was the number one most important thing to keep your phone safe while you're outdoors and in zodiacs and on hikes. Um, it's all about layers on this trip. And you're looking for materials that wick the sweat so that you stay dry while you're being more active outdoors in a cold environment. So merino wool is probably the number one suggested material that you're looking for layers. And what I typically wore on an outing in Antarctica was like a merino wool long sleeve shirt base layer, maybe two, depending on how cold it is. It's not as cold as you think, especially January. You're getting it more into the peak season. So the temperatures are probably not going to be as cold as you imagine. But they could be probably in the, you know, low 30s to anywhere like in the mid 40s, high 40s even sometimes.
Cool.
But you want to be prepared. So I would wear the base layer, a merino wool long sleeve shirt. Then I typically wore a Patagonia fleece zip up and then the parka. And for the top layer, like that was pretty good. The parka really does keep you warm and dry, and it is windproof, waterproof, so it really does keep your upper layer insulated because the parka is also a double layer. So it has like an insulated puffer jacket that's detachable. So it has the insulated layer and then the outer shell that's waterproof and windproof, has a big hood to keep your head protected, and pockets. And by the time you put a half and a neck gaiter on, you can basically only see your sunglasses. Um, so that was another thing I had. I had a neck gaiter to keep like my neck warm. And then the hat is really important. And you don't want it try just be cute, okay? You want it to be like insulated and keep your head warm. So I found a hat that had kind of like a silk lining that keeps your head insulated and keeps your head warm. And then for the bottom part, I think this is the most important part because this is where you're left to your own devices to really be prepared. Since we give you the parka, it's going to be waiting for you in your stateroom when you get on board. But for the bottom layer, I wore long john merino leggings, and sometimes I wore two pairs depending on how cold it was. And then you absolutely need waterproof pants to wear on top of them because you could be getting splashed with water in the zodiacs. We could be doing wet landings when we're landing in like water up to your ankles to get onto land. So you need waterproof pants, really good ones, to keep you dry on a trip like this. Now, one of the things that I did not have that I wish I had is a pair of fleece-lined leggings because other people had them and my legs would get a little cold. Um, and I wish I had that extra layer of warmth on some of those outings to keep me warm between like the long johns, fleece leggings, and a pair of waterproof pants. So that's one thing to consider. And then you need definitely waterproof gloves to keep your hands dry. And one of the things I wish I had was like at places like REI, they sell glove liners. That's kind of an extra layer of insulation to keep your hands warm as well, which I wish I had that I didn't have. And then we give you the rubber boots for we have a ton of sizes and you'll get to find a pair that fits you on the very first day so that you can keep them in your locker for the duration of your expedition. And those are waterproof. They keep your feet dry and warm. You just need to bring some wool socks with you to keep your feet warm inside those boots. I would typically wear one or two pairs with those as well. So it's all about the merino wool and the wool socks. You don't necessarily need hiking boots because you're going to be wearing our rubber boots every time you get off the ship, but you do want a sturdy pair of shoes to wear on board the ship, especially when you're on the outer decks because they do get wet, they could be covered in snow, and you want to have a safe pair of shoes because what you're going to find is you're going to want to be out on the outer decks a lot because you're sailing through like absolute magic. You're constantly out there in your parka with your binoculars taking pictures while we're sailing past icebergs and if there's whales out there. So just make sure you have a good pair of sturdy shoes that are going to keep your feet warm. Like the first time I went, I would be wearing like Adidas tennis shoes, but my feet would get cold. So if you have hiking boots, you could bring them. You don't necessarily need to go buy a pair. But something sturdy to keep your feet not slipping and keep them warm. Let's see, what else do I have here? A bathing suit. We have a sauna, a jacuzzi, a heated infinity pool on the aft of the ship that you can use when you're on board, but most importantly for the polar plunge. So you will have the opportunity to do the polar plunge. Uh, so that's good. And then last, what to leave at home? Formal wear. You do not need formal wear. It's like very casual and relaxed on board Swan Hellenic. At breakfast and lunch, you're going to be wearing like what you're going to wear outside throughout the day. It's very casual. And dinner, although it's fine dining, sit down a la carte, there's no dress code. Like you don't need to bring a jacket. You can wear a nice pair of jeans and a nice sweater to dinner. It's not formal. Like this is an adventurous trip and you can be relaxed on board and still enjoy the finer things in life. Um, Now, the biggest question is the Drake Passage and what to do about seasickness. This is really important because I think that where people go wrong is if you've never been on a small ship before and you've never gotten seasick before, you might think, "Oh, I don't get seasick." But if you've never been on a small ship, you don't know. It's a completely different experience. And the problem is, once you start feeling seasick, it's too late to take something. So you really need to be preventative about it. I can't tell you what to take because I know everyone reacts differently to different types of medication. I would say go talk to your doctor. I will tell you, I made a huge rookie move the first time I went on Swan Hellenic and puked my guts out crossing the North Sea. And I got a patch the next time when I went to Antarctica and I didn't get sick at all crossing the Drake. And there was pretty good swells in both directions. So it really saved me. And I wasn't able to fully enjoy my trip. There's two levels of seasickness, just a little expedition wisdom. You feel like you're gonna die and you wish you died. So
Jeez.
be prepared.
Hey,
Um,
Kelly.
yeah,
Um, One thing someone I talked to a while ago suggested to me that I thought was a great idea. He said, get a couple of different medications and try them now. So
yeah,
I did that. I did a patch for a couple of days, and I tried Dramamine a couple of days, and I tried another one, and I
yeah,
found that one of those things makes me drowsy, but the other two didn't, and that was
yeah.
really good to know. So
And now is like not the time to be like, oh, I'm gonna take organic ginger lozenges. Get the medication.
get the real drugs.
Like, and the ship will have like seasickness medication on board if people don't have it. But again, if you're already feeling sick, it might be too late to help.
Right,
So that's really important. Like when I got on board, basically when I went to bed that night, because we it takes a while to sail out of the Beagle Channel to even get out into the open waters. So like when I went to bed that night, I put the patch on the first night. And then you wear it for the 2 days the crossing the Drake, because you can only wear it for 3 days max, anyways. And then once you get to Antarctica, you're good. It's you're just hugging the coastline and going in and out of bays and fjords. So it's pretty smooth sailing once you get there, and then you can take it off for the 4 days and then put it back on for the trip home. Um, so that's really important. And then most importantly, you must come with a flexible mindset. I'm sure I talked about this in the original presentation, but on a trip like this, Mother Nature completely dictates every single thing we get to do and see and the schedule. So you really have to understand that there's no set itinerary. Things change all the time on an expedition like this. And our expedition team is really prepared with plan B, C, D, E, F, G, like no exaggeration. Like when I went out the first day in Antarctica, the wind really picked up. The weather can change on a dime in Antarctica. So things change, but our expedition team is prepared. Like we went out and the winds picked up to 38 knots within 20 minutes of us going out. And they're like, nope, you guys are coming back. Some people didn't get to go out. There was white caps. I basically did a polar plunge inside the Zodiac. I was getting like white caps over my head coming back to the ship. And so some people didn't get to go out. So you just have to know that our team is working behind the scenes to make magic happen in these moments because then at that evening briefing that night, they told us, guess what? We found great weather. After dinner, we're going out for a sunset zodiac at 9:30 tonight. Pink and purple cotton candy skies. It was epic. So have no fear. Our team is going to make things happen, but you have to be adaptable on a trip like this and ready to kind of be down for the adventure because weather is everything in this destination. Does anyone have questions on packing before we start talking about the logistics?
Kelly, this is Rob.
Hi.
Hey, our neighbor just got back from Antarctica on one of these, and the one thing she strongly suggested is having the straps for your gloves so you can take them off easily and they don't fall on the ground.
Oh yeah.
I don't, have you experienced that?
I didn't have them, but only because like when you look at the pictures of the parka, there's huge pockets that I stuffed them in. So it's a great idea. You don't want them to fall over the Zodiac, that's for sure. If you're trying to take a picture and actually, this leads me to a lot of the gloves, if you go to like a place like REI, they have the touches so you can still use your phone even with the waterproof gloves. So look for a pair of gloves that has like I don't know what it's called, but it has like the pads on the fingers so you can still take pictures with your phone and whatnot without taking them off.
Hey,
Kelly,
Yeah.
this is Brian. Do you recommend hand warmers? They have like electronic hand warmers. They also have those kind that come in little packets that you break it and it creates warmth for a while.
I wish I had something that offered more warmth because I didn't have anything like that. And
Okay.
either that or even glove liners that offer like an extra layer of insulation.
um, we got something that about suppliers that in Ushuaia that you can rent, like either individual pieces or a kit
Mhm.
of clothing. Are those good ideas or
I don't know anything about that, so I don't know what it entails.
it's like they have outfits down there and you can rent like a package of clothing
Oh,
or
I have not heard of anyone doing that, so I don't have any personal experience with it. I know that I've had other people tell me that like a place like REI has a really flexible like return policy
Oh, jeez.
that
I don't
you
want to
could
hear
look into if
that.
that's something you're worried about.
You're
I
speaking
wonder
my
if we,
language.
to that question, I wonder if we have enough time once we land in Ushuaia before we get on the ship. Do we even have time to go out and do something like that?
It all depends on the captain because we don't even know in advance what the schedule is going to be. The captain decides once all the guests are on board what time departure is because if the weather's bad and they want to get out early and everyone's there, they might say we're taking off. Or
Yeah.
if they need to delay the departure, they really let you know those details once you're at the ship.
Kelly, I have a question.
Mhm.
So for the waterproof phone case, that's in case it falls on the floor or
No, it's like it's basically like this plastic pack that you can slip your phone into, and it has a neck strip around it so that when you're riding in the Zodiac, you can hold on to the Zodiac and not worry about your phone falling. So like you can take a picture and you're not going to drop your phone in the ocean, basically.
because I have the Meta glasses, so that
Oh,
should be fine, right?
yeah,
Okay.
What? Hi,
Okay.
thanks for doing this, Kelly.
of course.
I got a question just relating to packing. Is there washing? Because that sort of will influence how much I take. And
Yes.
secondly, I read that I've read on the reviews that there are binoculars, and so maybe I don't need to bring my own, or do I
Yes,
need to
so
bring?
we actually have a complimentary laundrette on board where you can do laundry 24/7, free of charge, and it's preloaded with detergent and everything. You don't have to bring
That's
anything with
nice.
you. There's, I believe there's four washers and dryers. At one point, like for example, I would pop my stuff in the day I got soaking wet. You can pop it in the dryer and be ready to go for the afternoon. Sometimes everyone's trying to use it at the same time in that situation. So don't be alarmed. A lot of people just shared and stuffed all their stuff together if people were trying to dry their gear. Um, so that is an option. And of course, we have laundry service if you want to pay for the service instead of doing it yourself, but the laundrette is there. What was the second question? I'm sorry.
Thank you so much about that. The second one was about binoculars.
Oh, so every stateroom does have a pair of binoculars for you to use. If there's two of you in the room, you might want to bring a second pair if you want your own, or if you can share, it's up to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm. We also have complimentary walking sticks on board that you can use for the hikes and landings, so you don't have to bring those either. Okay. If anyone thinks of any questions, just holler. This is very informal, just to try to give myself some talking points, to
Yep.
remind myself what we need. But as far as like the arrivals, how that will work is when you land on the day of arrival, on the scheduled day of arrival, we will group people together who are landing on similar flights. So, depending on how many people are arriving at the same time, you could all be sharing a transfer together. Or you could be sharing a transfer with other guests who are arriving maybe on your same flight or on a different flight. Typically, we will group people together who are arriving within like 30 minutes of each other. So there could be like a 20 to 30-minute wait. And listen, when you land in Buenos Aires, you're going to get your luggage, you're going to go through customs, and you're going to exit. And when you get out there, there are a million people holding signs from different companies. Don't freak out. You just have to relax and know and be patient and look for the Swan Hellenic sign. I'm telling you, there's a ton of people. So it could take you a few minutes to find them in the crowd. But there's going to be someone holding the Swan Hellenic logo, and that's who you're going to look for. It's the swan, like the turquoise swan, and it will say Swan Hellenic. So that's how, and they will take you to the hotel. And at the hotel, there's typically a desk that has Swan Hellenic signage where there's packets of information for how the transfer and the flights are going to work the next day, what time you're going to meet downstairs, what time your luggage has to be ready to go to the bus, what time the departure is, and all of the flight details as well. So then the next morning, it's a group transfer on a coach bus from the hotel to the airport. There's probably 2 to 3 buses that will be transferring all of the guests that are going to be on this sailing together to the airport for the charter flight. Seats on the flight. You cannot pick them. I apologize. It
How
is
far is
not a
the
long
airport from the
flight.
hotel?
What's that?
How far is the airport from the hotel?
Uh, I don't know off the top of my head. If I had to guess, 20 minutes
Okay. And
from
then
I'm trying to remember my experience.
some of us are arriving a couple days early. So
Okay.
we'll be at an alternate hotel, joining the hotel later. Is
Okay.
that a problem?
No, that's not a problem as long as that went through Brian and everything is booked accordingly.
Okay.
Because then the transfer, if you're coming early, the included transfer is not included. You would need a private transfer, which I'm assuming.
That's fine, but where do we go? Like, because we're doing the same. So, like, you said that there's a sign to meet you. So if we arriving in Buenos Aires early, like, which hotel do we go to for the final night in Buenos Aires? Like the
That would
first night?
all be on your booking confirmation.
Okay.
I'll
And that's
I'll
it.
send that I'll send that out to everybody again. I know the hotel,
Okay.
so I'll just send you the hotel information.
So you'll go to the airport together with the group. The luggage allowance is a 20-kilo checked bag. And then, of course, you could bring like a personal item and like a small backpack with you and probably a checked, like small checked luggage suitcase. Um, all of this is also on our FAQ section of our website, which is a good resource as well for these types of questions. And it should be printed on your booking confirmation as well.
Where it says return flight, is
Mhm.
that the first flight or is that the flight coming back?
That's coming back because Brian had specifically asked about that. So you'll be landing in Buenos Aires at 4:50 p.m. on the return flight after your cruise is over.
Do we know what time we will leave the morning of the cruise?
I don't have the details specifically, but typically it's first thing in the morning, and all of that will be on your booking confirmation.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then the last topic is the health form. The health form is ready to be filled out once you're within 90 days of departure. So all of you should have filled out the health form. And if your form was accepted, you should have received a notification with a submission number. And if you're not sure if your health form has been approved and accepted, our reservations team can tell you what the status is and get it sorted out if it's not been approved. And
Kelly,
basically our team will just keep chasing. There's no deadline. Like your travel documents are not issued until all the forms have been completed.
so Kelly, quick question. Because I've got notification from Swan Hellenic, who they partner with for the health for filling out the health form.
Mhm.
Am I supposed to get some other notification from Swan Hellenic saying that they've now processed the form?
Well, what did the notification say that you received?
Oh, that it's been approved.
Oh, then you're good.
But there was no number other than my. If when you say number, I assume that's then my boarding number or whatever. I think it was the boarding
No,
number.
they're not tied to each other.
Okay, because
So as
it
long
did.
as you received a message that said it's approved, you're good to go.
Okay, because it didn't come directly from Swan. It came from
Right.
V, whatever that is.
Weekend, yeah.
Beekland or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks since Jose here on our call got the notification saying that Viking had received the letter. So they received it on the 26th of November, and we followed up a couple times. This last follow up, he included the guest reservations and put Brian on that, just so both Swan Hellenic and Brian's aware that we're continuing to follow up with them.
Okay. Definitely, Brian, if you want to forward it to me, I can also look into it.
Okay. I know
Kelly,
mine took a couple weeks, so I wasn't
Oh,
that concerned when I saw it because I think mine took exactly 2 weeks or like a day or two.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelly, we have the similar thing for one of us. One of us got approved. We submitted in end of October, and one of us, we've been told by the representative it was approved, but we didn't get the form. So if we could forward it on to you so that you can maybe get the form, that'd be great. So how do we do that? Do you have an email or?
Well, if I think it would go through Brian. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. So then Brian can escalate anything that needs resolving to me.
Yeah. And they're not sending us the form back. They're just sending us an approval.
That's my understanding, correct?
Kelly,
Yes.
I had an interview with a physician from Swan Hellenic. I don't remember getting anything after that interview.
Well, we would have to check on the status of your form then and find out what if it's been approved or not.
Okay. How do I go about doing that?
We will have to, Brian, we will have to keep a running list of anyone who is unsure.
I'll say whoever is having questions about it at this point, if you've submitted something and it's been 2 weeks or more, please don't send it to me if you just submitted it yesterday. The answer is no, we don't have anything yet. But if it's been 2 weeks or more, send me an email and I'll get them all to Kelly and we'll follow up on them.
Great, thank you.
But if you're looking for the approval, I'm looking at mine right now. The subject line says your medical screening form has been approved. So that's what you're looking for, and it's not from Swan Hellenic. It's from Vikend,
Mhm.
EU. So that's the return, and not Swan Hellenic. But that just means it's all good to go. And there's no the submission number. I think that you're talking about, Kelly, is the one we get in the process of doing this before we get approved. They give us a submission number.
Ah, my apologies.
Yeah, but after it's approved, it did not have that submission number anymore on it. It just has my regular Viking reservation number, which is 5 digits dash, or Swan Hellenic, my 5 digits dash either 24 or 25, depending on when you made your reservation, basically.
Okay. Okay. And then the last thing, Brian, you had asked about is like, what will life be like on board and also on the landings? So this is a pretty busy trip because you're going out, weather permitting, twice a day. So typically the flow of the day is you're going to wake up um and eat breakfast, and you get put in groups. You'll see the how in the observation lounge what color group you're in. They're going to look for your name, and when you're going to listen over the PA for your group to be called to go down to base camp to go out on your Zodiac cruises and landings. So it's like a tiered um execution of everyone getting off the ship so that not every person on board is all down in the base camp at the same time. Um, so those typically start early in the morning, like 8 a.m. Could be the first group going out. Um, and the landings it really depends on the weather, like how long you're going to be out there for. It could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. And again, the experience can be different every day depending on the weather. Like the first day or two that we were down there, we couldn't actually make any landings because the weather was too choppy, but we did some Zodiac cruising to see wildlife, and we could see penguins and icebergs. Um, and then when you actually make a landing, the different landing sites, they kind of vary. The experience varies. Like one of the places we go to is Port Lockroy, where it's the southernmost post office in the world, and you can actually send people postcards from Antarctica. Yep, it's crazy. And so it's not so much like a crazy hike. You're kind of just checking out like this crazy post office in Antarctica, but there's tons of penguins all around the grounds surrounding the post office. So you're just kind of taking in the environment and taking really awesome pictures and being in the environment. But then another stop we made, I think it was at Des Moines Point. It was like this mountain that had a colony of penguins spread out along the trail. And so some people wanted to just get out and take some pictures of penguins, and some people wanted to hike the whole mountain. And so our team does a really good job at balancing all the needs of our different travelers. So they typically would have a Zodiac going back to the ship like every 20 minutes. So that people who wanted to go back could, and the people who wanted to be more active and hike up there and take it all in could also get their time on the mountain. So there's good options for everyone and all the different like levels of mobility and fitness levels of the guests on board.
Oh, excellent.
There are options for kayaking. It's all completely weather dependent. This is one of the optional activities that does cost $250 per person. I would say this is not the time to go kayaking for your first time. So we typically want people to have kayaked before if you're going to kayak in Antarctica. And again, there's only so many kayaks and guides, so it is limited and basically a lottery system. You can pre-book your kayak, but it does not guarantee that you get to go. It's basically an expression of interest and kind of gives you priority, but you can also decide to do it on board. You don't have to decide in advance. They have a kayaking safety session that you have to attend if you want to kayak. And ultimately, it's completely up to the discretion of our expedition leader if you're approved to kayak. They can decide, sorry, we don't feel comfortable. You're not going to go kayaking today in Antarctica. It all comes down to the safety and security of all of our guests and the crew and making sure that we're being as safe as possible.
Are they one man or two man kayaks?
I think that they're two man.
Okay,
from
so
what I remember.
so either it was a stranger or somebody from
Yeah.
the ship who's with you?
Yeah.
Either or, is that what you're saying?
It's two people. Typically, you're going to be with another guest.
Okay.
Yeah, because then the expedition leader that is there monitoring everyone, kind
Okay.
of guiding everyone. And
And
then
if you don't,
there's a Zodiac also traveling with you.
and if for whatever reason you don't get to go, do they refund your money?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Um, when you're on board, so typically after the morning session, you're going to come back, you're going to eat lunch, you might have like an hour to kind of chill, and then go back out in the afternoon for round two, weather depending, of course. Um, and they'll have probably changed locations for the afternoon to maybe they've moved to a new spot for us to explore. And then when you come back on board, 3 p.m. is high tea time. So everyone's back on board from the day, getting a snack, talking, sharing your pictures and whatnot. They do a full spread of like all sorts of cakes and pizzas and treats, and that's where kind of everyone hangs out in the late afternoon after you're back on board from round two. And then every evening at 6:30, there's going to be an evening briefing. And this is where there's going to be a lecture. Most of the time, it's like about 20 minutes. The expedition leader is going to go over kind of the highlights of the day, but also what the plan is going to be for the following day. And then the flow is after the evening briefing, people go to dinner. Dinner basically starts at 7 p.m. every night. It's open dining, so you can sit with different people every night, whoever you want to sit with. And it's not like you have to go to dinner at 7, but that's typically just how things flow on board. You can stay in the observation lounge, have a cocktail, and then go to dinner. And then once dinner's over, people typically come back to the observation lounge. This is kind of like the living room on board where everyone hangs out. There is normally a piano player, or some nights the expedition team might put on a fun game night, but it's very low-key entertainment. It's mostly people having a drink and socializing with all of your friends and new friends that you meet on board. The vibe really changes by departure and who's on board. Like when I went, people wanted to have a freaking dance party every night. And I'm like, aren't you tired? But they plugged in the Spotify playlist and these people had a dance party every night. But I feel like it's all up to you what you make your evenings. What other questions can I answer?
This is Pete. You might have said something earlier. I came on a little bit late. What's the anticipated weather like? What should we expect? Will it be like 40 degrees or is it colder than that?
Yeah, you kind of have to be prepared for everything. It could be in the high 20s, it could be in the mid 40s.
Okay, thank you.
That's
So we
why the,
need,
the layers are so important.
okay, so
Yeah.
we need to bring a coat then.
Coat.
We give you the parka.
Ah,
Yeah.
Kelly, I have a question for you, which is there going to be a person on board who will explain about the birds and any other wildlife that's be there?
Oh yeah, we have ornithologists on board. I got to hike up the mountain through the penguins with an ornithologist by my side. Like it was epic. We have a marine biologist on board. We have naturalists. Our core expedition team is made up of all sorts of leading experts. We have a professional photographer on board as well, which is really cool because they document your entire departure, and included in the cost of your expedition you get a video that they make from your sailing and a photo album from the professional photographer from your trip. So there's all sorts of experts on board. And the other days, like when we're at sea on the Drake and in the afternoons, there's also full lecture series on board. So that's one of the things that you're going to be doing in between landings and explorations is all sorts of in-depth lectures on different topics from glaciology to learning about the penguin mating cycles to learning about whale migration patterns. There's all sorts of lecture topics that they're going to cover on board.
The other question I just was curious is when we're crossing the Drake, what type of swales will there be? Like 20, 30 foot?
Oh man. I mean, it's like a 50-50 shot of the what experience you're going to get. I think
Okay.
going there, I had about 5-meter swells, and then coming back, it was about 8-meter swells. Like it was rocking and rolling on the way back. Yeah. But then sometimes it could be glass.
Ken, did you have a question? I saw your hand up.
Ah, finally. I've been trying to unmute this thing forever.
Oh, there you go.
There, finally. Yes, I had a couple of questions too. I think you know, Brian, that my departure and arrival is a little bit different probably than everybody else's because where I'm coming from. I'm coming from Puerto Vallarta to Buenos Aires and returning back there when I'm done. So I am arriving on the 16th of January. I do have my flight booked, but I am going to be arriving late in the evening. So I think it's around 10 o'clock at night, actually. So I know I've sent all those flight details to you. So I'm hoping that's still not an issue. Um, and I'm looking at your itinerary for coming back and returning to Buenos Aires. It looks like you're arriving back close to 5 p.m. at night. Well, I have my return flight booked to Puerto Vallarta, but it's not until almost midnight. So I've given myself lots of time in order to make it back. So I'm hoping that's not an issue.
Just hang out at the airport.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought probably hang out at the airport because there's no reason for me to transfer anywhere once I get back to the airport in Buenos Aires. But the biggest concern I have is the health questionnaire and the confirmation numbers you're supposed to get. I have received absolutely nothing. The forms were submitted probably now well over 6 weeks ago. And my doctor has submitted as well. We both submitted roughly at about the same time. But I have received no confirmation or ever. I have tried contacting Swan Hellenic and the group that actually does the health questionnaires. I have gotten no reply. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if I've been approved. I have no confirmation number, nothing.
Well, I don't know if you were on earlier, Ken, but we said anybody who's having concerns like that, please send me an email and we'll
Yes,
follow up.
I'll be doing that because I don't know what's going on with that. Okay.
A different question in regards to the forms. If we don't get approved, we don't get to go. Is that it?
If you don't get approved?
Correct. For whatever reason, we don't get approved. Or what happens then? Have people been getting denied before or no?
I honestly have never heard of anyone getting denied. I think it's very few far in between. So I wouldn't stress about that.
Okay.
Especially you, Caesar.
Well, I just make sure that I get to go on it.
Yeah.
Like, so my doctor submitted
He's
everything
he's
as well.
he's probably the youngest one in the
I
group,
know.
Kelly. And he's what are you, a Marine or an Army or what? I can't remember
Maybe.
what. Navy?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like in super, super great condition. And he's
My partner
stressing.
has been 6 weeks and still nothing. So I'm like, oh, just making sure that everything's still
Yeah.
good. But I already sent you an email.
Just like me.
Hi. So just one other question about, you mentioned that there's some final confirmation documents coming out shortly. Are those electronic or?
Yes, everything's digital. And really all you need to get on the ship is your passport. So you'll have those. But you know, as long as you have your passport, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no boarding pass or anything like that, like there would be for a Carnival cruise. There's only 150 of us going on the entire ship. So yeah.
So we'll be coming in early on the 16th. I think our flight gets into Buenos Aires at 9. Do we know if it's possible to have early check-in at the hotel, or if we should indicate that earlier? Or
It all depends on that day. So you'll have to ask when you get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, as always, they take your luggage, hold it, and you go explore the city for a couple of hours until they tell you that their room must be ready. Yeah.
Go find some empanadas. Hmm.
Brian, one question on the flights that we'll be taking to go from Buenos Aires to catch the cruise. Will all that documentation be provided by you or Swan Hellenic?
Yeah, Kelly said earlier that it's going to be provided to you when you get to the hotel.
Hotel, okay.
Well, all of it should actually be on your booking confirmation. But then when you get to the hotel, they will give you further details just to reinforce that you have it all upon arrival as well.
Okay.
Including
So I
what
guess that's
including
another
what time
piece
to
I'm
meet in the
missing because
lobby
I
and
don't
stuff.
have that confirmation yet. I guess once I get that confirmation, once the health forms are all sorted out, I guess that will sort out all those problems.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. What else, Brian? Can you think of anything else I didn't cover?
I'm yeah, I'm looking at my list here. Let's see. Do.
Are you going to go on this one, Kelly?
I wish. I wish. I haven't gotten to go back since I went in November 2023. I'm due for a trip to Antarctica again, you know.
I don't have any more questions, Kelly. Anybody else have any more questions?
Brian, what was the email confirmation? Not the title, but where it came from for the health form. You mentioned the company.
Hold on, let me check.
I can do a search that way.
Yeah, hold on. Vikand, V is in Victor, Ikand.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Pete again. Mike has a question about his luggage and if it's over the 20 milligrams.
20 milligrams. You mean
Kilograms.
20 kilograms.
Kilograms? There you go.
If it's over, you would have to pay a fee to the airline because the charter is operated by Aerolíneas Argentina, so it's whatever fees that they would charge if it's overweight.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe, Pete, I can't believe you're not asking if they sell mugs in Ushuaia.
Well, that was my next question.
Because that'll put you over.
You know I gotta have a coffee mug.
Kelly, he buys a mug in every port, and he's been on I don't know how many
Oh
cruises with
my
me.
gosh.
Yeah, I've probably seen him buy 100 mugs at least in the last 5 years.
I also collect coffee mugs, but like I don't buy them in every port, only if I find like a special one.
Well, that's it. They're all special.
Anything else, anybody?
One quick question. I think some of us have or we have the high speed internet. How is the streaming? Um, do they have the satellite internet on board?
Yeah, it with the platinum Wi-Fi, it's well, we have Starlink, but it's
Okay.
just the different tiers are because if we just let it free for all, it's like a million, so ridiculously expensive the usage. So we kind of have to gatekeep it. So that's why there's different tiers of connectivity, but it is Starlink. So if you have the highest level, it should be pretty fast.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering how much I should download, versus rely on the streaming.
You know,
Not that I will be doing that much watching, but
yeah. So listen, you're still going to a place like Antarctica, and it I have had times, well, this was before we had Starlink though, when I went on board, so I can't talk from personal usage. But even when we didn't have Starlink, like some days it would work great and some days it didn't work very well.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because some of the reviews that I've seen mentioned poor internet and they
Mhm.
were from like 2 years ago. So that
We didn't
probably
have it then.
you didn't have the Starlink
Yeah.
yet. So it's gotten much better.
Yeah.
That's
I will say we also have like, because our ships are brand new, so everything is very new technology on board, and we have smart TVs in all of the staterooms. And so we have like a movie uh station where you can watch like 100 different movies for free.
Oh,
So
cool.
you have access to entertainment even in the middle of nowhere with us.
Do you know if the televisions will have closed captioning? Because I know on some of the other cruise ships, that certain channels don't have closed captioning, and Mike and we rely on the closed captioning.
I can't say for sure, but because I didn't use it myself, but I'm willing to bet it does just because it's all the latest technology.
Okay. Oh, another concern as we're talking about this, I'm thinking you mentioned talking over a PA system. Mike and I don't understand anything over a PA system. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher. That's how
So
we.
they actually don't talk very much on the PA system, and it doesn't go into your rooms. This is like a more refined experience. So, like the daily program is going to be, you can see it straight on your TV, what the schedule is going to be. And also, there's flat screen TVs all around the ship that will have the daily program. So, we don't make a lot of announcements on the speaker unless there's like an emergency or they're like telling you they have 100 whales surrounding the ship and get out on the deck right now with your camera, things like that. Otherwise, they don't really make too many announcements into your room.
Okay. Oh, when we're out doing the excursions, how do the guides talk to the people? Is that, with ear?
No, there's no earpieces when we go out off the ship.
Oh, okay. So we
Well,
won't.
Pete, we'll just make sure that you and Mike are close to the
Yeah.
guides.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So that means one of you will be the guide will be in the back with Mike.
Turtle.
Yeah. I have another question for you, Kelly. I'm looking back at this screen you just put back up. You said merino wool, and you kept saying merino wool. Is there a reason you're saying that rather than alpaca or any other kind of wool?
Washable.
I just learned that it like wicks the sweat, so to
Oh,
keep you
okay.
dry, it's a good like insulate. Everywhere I read, it was recommended as a good like insulating layer that keeps you dry, so you're not sweating in the cold.
Okay, cool.
I just heard a while back from like backpacking folk, just don't wear cotton. It
Yeah,
won't dry.
yeah.
They say that the merino wool doesn't pick up scent or odors as easily, so that's why it's sort of one of the preferential ones because you can wear it for 2 or 3 days and may not need to
Cool.
wash it as frequently. So,
Cool.
and
I
it doesn't
can
itch.
attest that that's true. I would bring a few layers that you can rotate just in case like any of your gear gets wet in the morning and you want to put on dry stuff for the afternoon if in case you don't have time to like pop it in the dryer. You just want to have like a few different layers in rotation.
With your suggestion of just taking it back to the store when you get home, I think I'll try several different wool
I
products.
didn't try this myself, but someone told me about REI.
Yeah, just a heads up, we've got a 7 o'clock call, so we'll be jumping off in a few minutes, but this has been really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. Have an
You
amazing
there,
time.
Todd. Nice to meet you, Jose.
Nice to meet you too. See y'all later next month. Ah.
Does the merino wool make you hot underneath? Because I'm
No.
warm-blooded, so I get hot easily.
Uh,
Me,
I
me
don't.
too, Caesar. That's what I'm worried about.
Well,
Pete,
what
I
I
thought
read
you
about
just wear
it,
short sleeves.
yeah, what I read about it, Caesar, is why because they said it holds body heat, but it doesn't cause you to it wicks sweat, so
Yeah.
it wicks moisture from you.
Hmm.
And from what I understand, if you get hot, you might not want to have three layers, but just the base layer and and another sub layer. So they said fewer layers if you get hot.
Hmm. You
Okay.
will have one of the things that we give you. I don't know if you can see this in the video, but no, it doesn't really show up. We give you a dry bag backpack that will be waiting for you in your stateroom as well. So you can take that with you, like out on the landings, if you need to take a layer off and put it in your backpack.
Oh,
There's
nice.
just really strict rules that our expedition team will go over about not putting your backpack on the ground and being careful about those types of things. But you'll have that waiting for you in your stateroom if you're worried about needing to take layers off.
Okay. Thank you.
We also give you a stainless steel water bottle um, because we don't really have single-use plastic on board and we have water refill stations all over the ship. So you'll have a water bottle waiting for you along with the backpack and the parka.
I have a question. I just do the rooms have refrigerators?
Yes, and you can stock them with your stateroom attendant if you want a whole fridge of Diet Coke or beers or whatever you like.
Okay. Okay.
It's included.
I was just interested in my diabetic stuff needs to
Medication.
be
Yeah.
called. Yes.
Yeah, the rooms have they all have a mini fridge that's included. You can take whatever you want out of it. They all have an Illy espresso coffee machine and a tea kettle and the coffee pods and tea bags. There's a robe, there's slippers, there's toiletries in the bathroom.
I'm
So
not going to want to leave.
I know you're not going to, trust me.
Since we're getting into details about the room, do you know the outlet, the electrical outlet? Is it American,
There's
European?
actually both American and European in the rooms and USB ports.
Fantastic, thank you.
Kelly, how many outlets are there generally in a room?
Oh, geez. I feel
Mhm.
like there is one next to the bed and one at the desk, and then probably one in the bathroom.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, if somebody has a CPAP machine, do you guys have distilled water on board or should they bring that with?
I would have to email the ship to double check that because I don't want to get the answer wrong.
I often have several of my guests bring CPAPs with them.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Yep. Thank you.
One more question in regards to the merino wool base layers. Is that only when we get it off the ship or also when we're on the ship?
Well, I mean, typically I just wore my long sleeve shirt around the ship because I would just take off all the outer layers and wear it with my like leggings or what like put jeans on because you're basically going back out in the afternoon.
Okay.
But inside the ship, I mean, it's heated.
Yeah.
Like,
And reviews that I read said that it was very warm inside the ship. That they felt there were people someone said there was even people walking around in shorts. So
That will be me.
I was just gonna say that, Pete. I was just thinking, oh, there's Pete. Shorts and a short sleeve shirt. With your fan.
I
With your
remember being
fan.
very comfortable, so I'm sure it depends on the person.
Thank you so much, Kelly. This has been
Of
really,
course.
really helpful, I think. I think everybody appreciates it. Um, yeah, good
Of course.
information.
I'm so excited for all of you to go and experience this. It's going to be mind-blowing. Um,
Yep.
but don't worry, we'll sort out all of the health form info. I apologize that that seems to be rather confusing and not so efficient, but
Yeah.
we'll get it sorted out.
I'm seeing a lot of handshakes or claps for you, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, guys. If you have, I'll just repeat, if you have not received your confirmation from your health stuff, send me an email. If I'll get it, whatever I get this week, I'll send to you, Kelly, on Friday.
Okay.
So if you guys get me an email tomorrow, or the next day, so that I can get it to her all in one swoop instead of piecemeal. We'll take care of that. And then, of course, if you have any other questions, shoot me an email or give me a call or whatever. But that seems to be, as you said, Kelly, the big concern right now. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in a month.
Thank you very
Take care.
much.
Thank you. Merry
Thank
Christmas,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Merry
Thanks a
Christmas.
lot.